Good evening, and welcome to Shakespeare the Parts production of Richard III. We appreciate you guys coming out in this heat to watch us this evening. A couple things before we get started. One, tonight's performance will feature Caitlin Fox and role that Anna is scheduled for. She's not here this evening. And also, we are a 501c company. We are totally run off of donations. So if you enjoy the show at the end of the night, we do have a donation box of Shakespeare back there. If you would like to donate to us, just stick it in its nose. We appreciate any and all donations because, as I said, we are an all-volunteer and we run off of donations. So we hope that you enjoy the show tonight. Thank you for coming. Why is it? Hey.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon this house, the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms held up for monuments. And now, instead of mounting a barbed steed to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he nimbly capers in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time in a breathing world scarce and made up, and so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why I, in this piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to see my shadow in the sun and the scant of my own deformity. Therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasing of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions, dangers and drunken prophecies, libels and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in a deadly hate, for one against the other, and King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous. On this day, Clarence should be mute up about a prophecy which says that heirs the murderer shall be. Thy thoughts deep in my soul, here, Clarence. Good day, brother. What means this armed guard that waits upon your grace?
His Majesty, tendering my person's safety, hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the tower.
Upon what cause?
Because my name is George.
Alack, my lord, that is no fault of yours.
He hearkens after prophecies and dreams, and says that a wizard told him that by G his issue disinherited should be. And for my name of George begins with G, it follows in his thoughts that I am he. These as I learn, and such like toys as these, have moved his highness to commit me now.
This is it. When men are ruled by women, it's not the king that sends you to the tower. Our Lady Grey, his wife, Clarence, it is she that sends him to this harsh extremity. We are not safe, Clarence. We are not safe.
My heavens. I think there's no man secure but the Queen's kindred, and the night-walking heralds that trudge betwixt the king and distant shore. Heard you not what a humble suppliant Lord Hastings was for her delivery?
My lords, I beseech your graces both. The king has strictly given me charge that no man shall, of what degree soever, shall have conference with the brother.
We know thy charge, Brackenbury, and will obey.
Good day, brother. I will on to the king. In the meantime, have patience.
I must perforce. Farewell.
Simple, plain Clarence, how do I love thee, that I will shortly send his soul up to heaven. But who comes here, the newly delivered Hastings?
A good time of day unto my gracious lord.
How hath your lordship brooked imprisonment?
With patience, noble lord, as prisoners must, but I shall live, my lord, to give them thanks which were the cause of my imprisonment.
What news?
The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy.
Where is he? In his bed?
He is.
Go you on. I will follow. He cannot live, I hope, and must not die. To George be packed with post-horse up to heaven. I'll urge this hatred more to Clarence, with lies sealed with weighty arguments. And if I fail not in my deep intent, Clarence have not another day to live. Which done, God take King Edward to his mercy, and leave the world for me to bustle in. For then, I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What? That I did kill her husband and his father? Clarence still breathes. Edward still lives and reigns. When they are gone, then I will count my years.
Whilst I awhile obsequiously lament the untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster. Poor king-cold figure of a holy king, pale ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of thy royal blood, be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the selfsame hands that made thee. Cursed be the hands that made thee whole. Cursed the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed be the blood that led this blood from hence, for half betide the direful hated wretch that made us wretched by the death of thee, that I can wit, to wolves, to spiders, to toads, to any creeping venom thing that lives. If ye ever have child, abortive be it. If ye ever have wife, let her be made more miserable by the death of him that I am made by my dear lord of thee. Come now towards Trixie with your holy load.
Stay you that bear the course and set it down.
What black magician conjures up this scene to stop devoted charitable deeds?
Villain, set down the course, or by St. Paul I'll make a course of them that disobey.
What, are you afraid? Do you tremble? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell, thou hadst but power over his mortal body, his soul thou canst not have. Therefore be gone.
Sweet saint, for charity be not so cursed.
Thou devil, God's sake, hence and trouble us not, for thou hast made the happy earth thy hell. If thou delightest to free thy heinous deeds, behold, this pattern of thy butchery.
Lady, you know no rules of charity which turns good to evil, blessing and mercy.
Villain, thou knowest no law of God nor man. No beast so evil, but no such pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful, when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angels. Vouchsafe divine perfection of a woman. Of these supposed crimes to give me leave by circumstance, but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe diffuse infection of man of these no evils, but to give me leave by circumstance, to curse thy cursed self.
Fairer than the tongue can name thee. Give me some patient leisure, but to excuse myself. I did not kill your husband.
Why then? He is alive.
Nay, he is dead and slain by Edward's hand.
In thou foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falchion smoking in his blood.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind, which never drinks on aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Doest grant me, hedgehog? Then God grant me too. Thou mayest be damned for thy heinous deeds. He was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
Better for the King of heaven to have him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Then let him thank thee to help to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place, save hell.
Yes, one place else if thou to hear me name it.
Some dungeon?
Your bedchamber.
Ill rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, that I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. Gentle Lady Anne, to leave these keen encounter our wits and follow to something of a slower method. It's not the cause of these timeless deaths, or these Plantagenets. King Edward is blameful as the executioner.
Thou wast the cause of most accursed effect.
Thy beauty was the cause of that effect.
Black night, or shade thy day, and death thy life.
Curse not, fair creature, thou art both.
And would I were to be revenged on him.
Is it a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that way?
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He, that bereft the lady of thy husband, did it come to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon this earth.
He lived and loved better than he could.
Where is he?
Here. Why hast thou spit to me?
Would it more mortal poison for thy sake?
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toad. Therefore be gone, thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have affected mine. Thy revengeful heart cannot forgive. Lo, I lend thee the sharp-pointed sword. And if thou pleasest, to hide in this true breast, for I lay naked upon its deadly stroke, humbly beg for death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but it was thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, thou dispatch! 'Twas I that stabbed young Edward, but it was thy heavenly face that set it on. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with this word, this hand, which for thy love, shall for thy love kill thy love, shall for thy love kill far truer love.
I would I knew your heart.
Disfigured in thy tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Never man was true.
Well, put up your sword.
Say my peace in vain.
That thou shalt know hereafter.
Thou say to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look how the ring is contemplated. Even so, thy breath holds my poor heart. Wear them both. Both of them are thine. Bid me farewell.
It is more than you deserve. But since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already.
Was ever woman in the shimmer wooed? Was ever woman in the shimmer won? I'll have her, but will not keep her long. What? That I did kill her husband and his father? Keep her heart in extremest hate, with curses in her mouth and tears in her eyes. Having God, her conscience, and all the bars against me, and yet to win her, all the world's to nothing. I do mistake my person all this while. Although, upon my life she finds, although I cannot myself be a marvelous proper man, I'll be in charge for a looking glass, and entertain a score or two of tailors to study fashions to adorn this body. But first, I'll send young fella to his grave, and then return, lamenting to my love. Shine out, fair star, till I bought a glass, so I may see my shadow as I pass.
Have patience, madam. There's no doubt His Majesty will soon recover and have some help.
In that you broke his ill and made him worse. Therefore, for God's sake, hence and entertain with comfort, and cheer his grace with quick and merry eyes.
Oh, if he were dead, what would betide on me?
The heavens have blessed you with a goodly son. Be your comforter when he is gone.
He is young, and his minority is put into the trust of Richard Gloucester, a man that loves not me nor none of you.
Is it concluded he shall be protector?
It is determined, not concluded yet. Oh, but so it must be if the king miscarry.
Here come the lords of Buckingham and Derby.
The time of day unto your royal grace.
God make your majesty joyful as you have been.
Saw you the king today, my lord of Derby?
But now the Duke of Buckingham and I are come from visiting his majesty.
What likelihood is amendment, lords?
Madam, good cheer, his grace speaks cheerfully.
God grant him help. Did you confer with him?
Aye, madam, he desires to make atonement between the Duke of Gloucester and your brothers, and between them and my Lord Chamberlain, and sends to warn them to his royal presence.
Oh, would
would all were well, but that
Do
will
me
never
wrong,
be.
I will not endure it. Who is it that complains unto the king, that I forsooth them stern and love them not?
To whom in all this present speaks your grace?
To thee that has no honesty nor grace. When have I done thee injury? When have I done thee wrong? To thee, or thee, or thee, or any of your factions. Plague upon you all. His royal grace, who God preserves better than you would wish, cannot be quite scarce the breathing wild, but you must trouble him with lewd complaints.
Come, we know your meaning, Brother Gloucester. You envy my advancement and my friends. God grant we never may have need of you.
God grants I have need of you. Our brother is imprisoned by your means. Myself, disgraced, and the nobility held in contempt, while great promotions are given daily to ennoble those that scarce some 2 days since were worth a noble.
My lord, you do me shameful injury falsely to draw me in these vile suspects.
Do you deny that you are not the means of Lord Hastings' imprisonment?
She may, my lord.
She may, Lord Rivers, for who knows not so. She may do more, sir, than deny me. She may offer you many fair preferments to deny her near giving hand therein, and then leave those honors on your high desert. What may she not? She may, I marry may she.
What marry may she?
What marry may she? Why marry a bachelor, and a handsome stripling too. I wish your grand have had a worser match.
My lord of Gloucester, I have too long borne your blunt upbraiding sex to be restored. By heaven, I will acquaint his majesty with those who own talks that oft I have endured. I had rather be a country servant maid than a great queen. With this condition, to be so baited, scorned, and scorned, that small joy am I in being queen.
And blessed be that small, God I beseech it. Thy honor, state, and seat is due to me.
Heir queen, I your husband king. I was a packed house in his great affairs. To royalize his blood, I spent my own.
High and much better blood than his, or thine.
And all the time, you and your husband Gray were factions of the House of Lancaster. And Rivers, was not your husband in Margaret battle with St. Albans slain?
All of men are lord or sovereign king, so should be you. And you should be our king.
If I should be, I had rather be a peddler. Far be it from my heart the thought thereof.
As little joy, my lord, as you suppose you would enjoy were you this country's king, as little joy you may suppose in me that I enjoy being the queen thereof.
Oh, I can no longer hold me patient. Hear me, you wrangling pirates that fall out in sharing that which thou hast hilled from me. Which of you trembles not to look on me? Ah, gentle villain, do not turn away.
Thou wrinkled witch, how makest thou in my sight? Was that now banished on pain of death?
I was, but I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here in my abode. A husband and a son thou owest me, and thou a kingdom, all of you, allegiance. This sorrow that I have by right is yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine.
The curses my noble father laid on thee, but thou did crown his warlike brow with paper. Denounced against thee, fallen upon all. God, not we, have plagued your bloody deed.
So just is God to right the innocent.
Oh, it was the foulest deed to slay that babe, and most merciless that ever was heard of.
Pirates themselves wept when it was reported. No man but prophesied revenge for it.
What? Were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat? And turn you all your hatred now on me? Did your dead curse prevail so much with heaven? Why, then give way, dull clouds, for my quick curses. Though not by war, by surfeit die your king. Edward, thy son, that now is Prince of Wales, for Edward our son that was Prince of Wales. die in his youth by like untimely violence. Thyself a queen, for me that was a queen, long mayst thou live, to wail thy children's death. Rivers and graves, you both were standers by, and so was thou, Lord Hastings, when my son was stabbed with bloody daggers. God, I pray that none of you may live to see his natural age, but by some unlooked accident cut off.
Have done thy charm, you foul withered hag.
And leave out thee. Stay, dog, for thou shalt hear me. The worm of conscience still gnaws thy soul. No sleep close up that dreadful eye of thine. Thou elvish, mark, abortive, brooding hog, thou slander of thy heavy mother's womb, thou loathed issue of thy father's loins, thou rag of honor, thou detest
Margaret!
Richard,
Ah!
I call thee not.
I cry thee mercy that you call me these bitter names.
Oh, let me make the period to my curse.
It ends with thee and ends in Margaret.
Thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Poor patient queen, vain flourish of my fortune. The day will come when thou shalt wish for me to help thee curse this poisonous bunchback foe.
Have done, have done.
Buckingham, take heed of yonder dog. Have naught to do with him. Beware of him. Sin, death, and hell have set their marks on him.
What does she say, my lord of Buckingham?
Nothing that I respect, my gracious lord.
Live each of you as subjects to his hate, and he to yours, and all of you to God.
My hair doth stand on end to hear her curses.
I cannot blame her by God's holy mother. She has had too much wrong. And I repent my part thereof.
Madam, his majesty doth call for you.
Poke Catesby, I come. Lords, will you go with me? To wait upon your grace.
Why looks your grace so heavily today? I
Oh.
pray you tell me.
I've passed a miserable night, so full of fearful dreams.
What did your grace dream of, my lord?
Methought that I had broken from the tower, and was embarked across to Burgundy. And in my company, my brother, Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk along the hatches. As we paced along, methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in falling struck me, what thought to stay him, overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Or methought what pain it was to drown. Methought the melancholy flood unto the kingdom of perpetual night, with that methought a legion of foul fiends environed me, and held in my ears such hideous cries, that with the very noise I trembling waked, and for a season after could not believe but that I was in hell. Keeper, I pray thee sit with me a while. My soul is heavy, and I faint with sleep.
I will, your grace. God grant you good rest. What dost thou here, fellow, and how comest thou hither?
I would speak with Baron, and I come hither on my leg.
Let him see our commission and talk no more.
I know not what is meant hereby. There lies he to sleep, and there to eat.
One. Now, stab him as he speaks. Oh, will say 'twas a cowardly when he wakes. Why? Thou never wake until the great judgment day. Well, then when the deed is done.
Come, he dies. I had forgot the reward.
Oh, wait.
Keeper, where art thou? Give me a cup of wine. In God's name, what art thou?
A man, as you are.
Who sent you hither? Wherefore do you come? To murder me? I. And wherein, my friends, have I offended you?
What we do upon command.
And he who hath commanded is our king. Erroneous vassal! The great King of Kings hath from the table of his law commanded that thou shalt do no murder. Will you then spurn at his edict and fulfill a man? If you are hired for me, go back again, and I will send you to my brother Gloucester, who shall reward you better for my life than Edward will for tidings of my death. You are deceived. Your brother Gloucester hates you. Now do not slander him, for he is kind.
Right. As snow in harvest. Come, you deceive yourself. 'Tis he that sends us to destroy you here.
Make peace with God, for you must die, my lord. Have you that holy feeling in your soul to counsel me to make my peace with God, and yet to your own soul are you so blind that you would war with God by murdering me? What shall we do? Relent and save your souls. My friend, I spy some pity in my looks. Come now on my side and entreat for me. Oh, my lord, look behind you.
Take that!
Whoa!
And that!
Oh!
And if all this will not do, I'll drown you in the Malmsey butt. Within?
Oh, how fain, like I, would I wash my hands of this most grievous murder.
insight into my friendly peace.
My sovereign lord, I do beseech your highness to take our brother Clarence to your grace.
Why, madam, have I offered love for this? To be so flouted in his royal presence? Who knows not the gentle Duke is dead?
Who knows not he is dead? Who knows he is?
Oh, seeing heaven, what a world is this?
Is Clarence dead? The order was reversed.
Poor man by your first order slave.
Oh, my brother killed no man. His only fault was thought. Oh. And yet, punishment was bitter death. Who sued to me for him? Who, in my wrath, yielded my fee and 50 fee of mine? Who spoke of brotherhood? Who spoke of love? God, I fear thy justice will take hold on me and you and mine, yours for this. Come, Lord Hastings, help me to my closet. Oh, poor Clarence.
This is the Prince of Rashness. Marked you not how the guilty kindred of the Queen did look pale when they heard of Clarence's death.
We wait upon your grace.
Who shall hinder me to wail and weep, to chide my fortune and torment myself? Edward, my lord, thy son, our king is dead.
I have wept a worthy husband's death and lived with looking on his image. But now 2 mirrors of his princely semblance are cracked in pieces by malignant jet.
Madam, methinks you like a careful mother to the young prince your son. Then straight for him and let him be crowned. And again, will comfort him.
Sister, have comfort. We all have cause to wail the dimming of our shining star. We cannot help him by wailing him. Madam, my mother, I do cry your mercy and did not see your grace. Upon my knee, I crave your blessing.
God bless thee and good meekness in thy breast. Love, charity, obedience, and prudence.
Amen. Let me die a good old man. This is the butt end of a mother's blessing. I marvel that her grace did leave it out.
You cloudy princes and heart-sorrowing peers, though we have spent the harvest on this king, we are now to reap the harvest of his son. Meseemeth good that with some little train forthwith from Ludlow, the young prince be fed hither to London to be crowned our king.
And so say I.
Madam, and sister, wilt you please go?
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake, let us not stay at home. For by the way, I'll sort occasion how we can part the queen's proud kindred from the prince.
Myself, my counsels consistent. To London, then. We should not be left behind.
Hear you the news abroad?
Yes, that our king is dead.
Then master looks to see a troublous world.
No, we fear the worst. His son shall reign by God's good grace.
Woe to the land that's governed by a child. Full of danger is the Duke of Gloucester, and the Queen's sons and brothers, hot and proud.
Oh, we do fear the worst, but fear not, all will be well.
When clouds are seen, wise men put on their cloaks. When the sun sets, doth look for night. All may be well if God sorted so, 'tis more than we deserve, so I expect.
Last night I heard they lay at Stony Stratford. At Northampton they do rest tonight. Tomorrow or next day they will be here.
I long with all my heart to see the prince. I hope he hath much grown since last I saw him.
Oh, but I hear no. They say mighty son of York has almost overtaken him in his growth.
Aye, mother, but I would not have it so.
Who told me this?
Grand Aunt's nurse.
His nurse? Why, she were dead ere thou wast born.
If it were not she, I cannot tell him so.
No, parlous boy, go to, you're true. Good madam, do not be angry with the child.
Pitchers have ears.
Here comes a messenger. What news?
Such news, my lord, as grieves me to report. How doth the prince? Well, madam, and in health.
What is thy news?
The Lord Rivers and Lord Grey are set to Pomfret, prisoners.
Who have committed them?
The mighty dukes, Gloucester and Buckingham.
Oh, what offense?
The sum of all I can I have disclosed. Why or for what the nobles were committed, I know not, my gracious. I see the ruin of my house. Welcome destruction, blood, and massacre. I see is the back, the end of all.
Oh, accursed and unquiet, wrangling days! How many of you have mine eyes beheld? My husband lost his life to get the crown, and fallen up and down my sons are tossed beneath joy and grief, their gain and loss.
Come, my boy, we will to sanctuary. Madam, farewell.
Oh, stay, I will go with you.
You have no cause.
My gracious lady, go, and thither bear your treasure and your goods. For my part, I will render unto your grace the seal I keep, and so betide to me as well I tender unto you, and all of yours. Go, I'll conduct you to the sanctuary.
Welcome, sweet prince, to London, to your chamber.
I want more uncles here to welcome me.
My lord, Mayor of London comes to greet you.
God bless your grace with health and happy days.
I thank you, good my lord, and thank you all. I thought my mother and my brother York long ere they would have met us on the way. Say, Uncle Gloucester, if our brother comes, where shall we sojourn for our coronation?
We shall repose you to the tower.
I do not like the tower of any place. Did Julius Caesar build that place, my lord?
He did, my gracious lord, begin that place.
Is it upon record, or else reported successively from age to age he built it? Methinks the truth will live from age to age as per retailed to all posterity.
So wise, so young. They say do never live long.
What say you, Uncle?
Oh, now, in good time, here comes the Duke of York.
Richard of York, how fair are noble brothers? Well, my dear lord, so I must call you.
How fair is our cousin, noble lord of York?
I thank you, gentle uncle. Oh, my lord, then I will weave a fast rope. The prince, my brother, has outgrown me far.
He hath, my lord.
And therefore the idol,
Oh, my fair cousin, I must not say so.
uncle, your grace knows how to bear with him. You mean to bear me, not bear with me. Uncle, my brother mocks both you and me, because I am little like an ape. He thinks you can bear me on your shoulders.
My lord, wilt you please pass along?
What? Will you go into the tower, my lord? My lord protector needs will have it so. I shall not sleep in quiet at the tower.
Why? What should you fear?
Mary, my Uncle Clarence's angry ghost. My granddad said he was murdered there. I fear no uncles dead.
Nor none that live, I hope.
And if they live, I hope I need not fear. But come, my lord, and with a heavy heart, thinking on them, go I unto the tower.
Come hither, Catesby. What thinkest thou? 'Tis not an easy matter to make William Lord Hastings of our mind.
He, for his father's sake, so loves the prince that he will not be one to aught against him.
What sayest thou then of Stanley? How about he?
He will do all in all, as Hastings does.
Go, gentle Catesby, and as it were far off, sound thou Lord Hastings, how we doth stand affected to our purpose. Commend me to Lord William. Tell him, Catesby, that his ancient knot of dangerous adversaries tomorrow are let blood in Pomfret Castle. And Bid my lord, for joy of this good news, give Mr. Shore one gentle kiss the more. Now, my lord, what shall we do if we perceive Lord Hastings shall not yield to our complots?
Jump off his head, man! or somewhat we will do. And look, when I am king, claim thou the earldom of Hereford with all the movables that the king my brother hath possessed.
I'll claim that promise at your grace's hand.
My lord! My lord! My lord!
Who
My
knocks?
lord! One from Lord Stanley, my lord.
Cannot my Lord Stanley sleep these tedious nights?
So it appears. By that I have to say, he dreamt the boar had oft his helm.
Go, fellow, go, return unto thy Lord. Tell him his fears are shallow, without instance. Good morrow, Casey. You are early stirring. What news? What news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe we'll never stand upright. This is where the garlands of the realm.
How wear the garland? Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my good lord.
I'll have this crown cut off from my shoulders before I see the crown so found in place. To bar my master's heirs in true descent? God knows I will not do it. To the death.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
Sir Richard Radcliffe, today shalt thou behold a subject die for truth, for duty, and for loyalty.
God bless the prince and all the cats. A nasty one. Damn it, blood something.
Snatch, the limit of your life is out.
Now I fear Margaret's curse had fallen upon our heads.
Then curse she, Richard, then curse she, Hastings. Oh, remember God to hear her prayer for them as now for us.
Make haste, the hour of death is expiate.
Now, noble hearers, pause while we are met in the determent of the coronation. In God's name speak, when is the royal day?
Are all things ready for the royal time?
It is and once but now.
Oh, tomorrow then I judge a happy day.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein? Who is most inward with the noble Duke?
Your grace, we think, should soonest know his mind.
Though we know each other's faces, for our hearts, he knows no more of mine than I of his, or I of his, my lord, than you of mine. Lord Hastings, you would he are near in love.
I think his grace. I know he loves me well. In the Duke's behalf, I give my voice.
Oh, and in happy time, here comes the Duke himself.
Noble lords and cousins, all good morrow. I have been long a sleeper, but I trust my absence doth not neglect no great design, which by my presence might have been concluded.
My lord, had you not come upon your cue, William Lord Hastings will have pronounced your part. I mean your voice in crowning of the king.
Then Lord Hastings, no man might be bolder. Your lordship knows me well, and loves me well. My Lord Ely, when I was last at Harford, I saw good strawberries in your store garden there. I do beseech you, sit for some of them.
Marry and will, my lord, with all my heart.
Cousin of Buckingham, a word.
I say his grace does look cheerfully and smooth this morning. I say there was never a man in Christendom who could lesser hide his love or his hate than he.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve, that they do conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft, which prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
The tender love I bear your grace makes me most forward in this princely presence. To doom the offenders, whoever they be, I say, my lord, they have deserved death.
To let your eyes be the witness of their evil. Look, how I am bewitched. Behold, my arm is like a blast sapling withered up. And Edward's wife, that monstrous witch, conspired with that harlot, strumpet, Shore. And by this witchcraft thus I am marked.
If they have done this deed, noble lord.
If thou protector of that damned strumpet, love me, rise! Follow me!
Oh, Margaret! Margaret! Thy heavy curse is lighted upon poor Hastings' wretched head.
Come, dispatch. The Duke will be at dinner.
Bloody Richard! Miserable England! Come, bring me to the block. Bear them my head. They smile at me who shall soon be dead.
Here is the indictment of the good Lord Hastings. 11 hours I have spent to write it over, for yesternight by Catesby was in Sydney. And yet within these 5 hours Hastings lived, untainted, unexamined, free at liberty. Bad is the world, and all will come to naught. With such ill dealing must be seen in thought.
Though I buckle fortune on my back to bear her burden, whether I will or no, I must have patience to endure the load. For God doth know, and you may partly see, how far I am from the desire of this.
Then I salute you with this royal title. Long live King Richard, England's worthy king.
Amen.
God grant your graces a happy and joyous time of day.
Oh, as much for you, good sister, whither away?
No further than the tower, and as I guess upon like devotions of yourself, congratulate the gentle princess.
Kind sister, thank you, let's all together. And in good time, here's the lieutenant come. Master Lieutenant, pray, by your leave, how doth the prince and my young son of York?
Right well, madam, but I may not suffer you to visit them. The king has strictly given me charge to the contrary.
The king, who is that?
I mean the Lord Protector.
The Lord protect him from that kingly title. I am their mother, who shall bar me from them?
I am their father's mother. I will see them.
Their aunt I am in law, and love their mother. Therefore show us to them, and I'll bear the blame, or I'll take thy office from thee on my peril.
No, madam, no, I may not have it, so I have found my own. Therefore, pardon me.
Let me but greet you, ladies, 1 hour hence. And I'll salute your Grace of York as mother, and reverend looker on of 2 fair queens. Come, lady, in the state to Westminster, there to be crowned Richard's royal queen.
Oh, cut my lace asunder, that my pent heart may have some scope to beat, or else I swoon with this dead-killing news.
Oh, woeful tidings, oh, unpleasing news.
Be of good cheer. Mother, how fares your grace?
Oh,
Dorset, get thee gone. Death and destruction dogs thee at thy heels. Thy mother's name is ominous to children. If thou wilt outstrip death, wilt cross the seas and live with rich men from the reach of hell.
Come, madam, come. I in all haste was sent.
and I in all unwillingness will go. Oh, would to God that the inclusive verge of golden metal that was round my brow were red-hot steel, and seared me to the brains. Anointed let me be with deadly venom, ere man can say, God save the Queen.
Oh, go, poor soul. I envy not thy glory. My humor wish myself no harm.
No? When he that is my husband now came to me, as I followed Henry's course, when scarcely the blood was well washed from his hands, which issued from my other angel husband, and that dear saint which I weeping followed. But when I saw Richard's face, this was my wish. Be thou, quoth I, accursed, for making me so young, so old a widow. And when thou weddest, let sorrow haunt thy bed. And be thy wife, if any be so mad, made more miserable by the life of thee than I am made by my dear lord's death. Lo, ere I can repeat this curse again, within so small a time my woman's heart grew captive to his honey words, became the subject of mine own soul's curse, which hitherto hath held mine eyes from rest. For never 1 hour in his bed did I enjoy the golden dew of sleep, but with his timorous dreams was kept awake. Besides, he hates me for my father Warwick, and will soon be rid of me. Oh, poor hearted you, I pity thy complaining. No more than with my soul I mourn for yours.
Farewell. The wolf will welcome our glory.
The two poor souls that take the life of the day.
Go thou, Cupid, good fortune tonight. Go thou to Richard and make good angels pay. Go thou to sanctuary and good thoughts possess. I, to my grave, where peace and rest lie with me. 80-odd years of sorrow have I seen, and every hour's joy wrapped with a week of tea.
Stay, yet look back with me unto the tower. Pity you ancient stones, those tender babes whom envy hath immured within your walls. Rough cradle for such little pretties. Rude ragged nurse, old sullen playfellow to such tender princes. Use my babies well, so foolish sorrow bids your stones farewell.
Stand all apart. Cousin of Buckingham,
My gracious sovereign,
give me thy hand. Thus, by thy advice and by thy assistance, is King Richard seated. Shall we wear these glories for a day, or shall they last and we rejoice in them?
still live they, and forever let them last.
Now, Buckingham, now do I play the touch, to try to be of current gold indeed. Young Edward lives. Think now what I would speak.
Say on, my loving lord.
Say that I would be king.
Why, so you are, my thrice renowned lord.
Am I king? 'Tis so, but young Edward lives.
True, noble prince.
Oh, bitter consequence! Young Edward still lives. True, noble prince. Shall I be plain? I want the bastard dead! And I would have it suddenly performed. Speak a spelled out thing. Speak suddenly, be free.
And your grace may do your pleasure.
Say that I have not consented and they will die.
Give me some little breath, my lord, some pause. I will resolve you here and presently.
King is angry, seeing he does live.
High-reaching Buckingham grows circumspect. Has he so long held out with me, untired, and stops he now for breath? Come hither, Casey. Rumored abroad that Anne, my queen, is sick and like to die. I must be married to my brother's daughter, or else my kingdom stands on brittle glass. Murder her brothers and marry her. Uncertain way of gain. For I am so far in blood that sin will pluck out sin. Tear falling pity dwells not in this eye. Is thy name Tyrrell?
James Tyrrell, and your most obedient subject.
Art thou indeed?
Prove me, gracious lord.
Dost thou resolve to kill a friend of mine?
Please you, but I had rather kill two enemies.
Oh, thou singest sweet music. Hark, come hither, Tyrrell.
I will dispatch it straight.
My lord, I have considered in my mind that late request you did sound me in.
Let that rest. Dorset has fled to Richmond.
I hear the news, my lord.
And Stanley, he is your wife's son. We'll look onto it.
My lord, I claim the gift, my due by promise, the earldom of Hereford, and the movables which you have promised I shall possess.
I remember when Henry VI did prophesize that Richmond should be king.
My lord,
What is the clock?
I am thus bold to make your grace in mind of what you promised me.
Well, what is the clock?
Upon the stroke of 10.
Let it strike.
Why let it
Because, like a jack that keeps the strike betwixt thou begging in my meditation, I'm not in the giving vein today.
Why then resolve me whether you will or no.
Thou troubles me, I'm not in the vein.
And is it thus? Repays me my deep service with such contempt? Made I him king for this?
Kind Tyrrell, am I happy in thy news?
If to have done the thing you gave in charge begets your happiness, be happy then, for it is done.
But did thou see them dead?
I did, my lord.
And buried, gentle Tyrrell.
The chaplain of the tower hath buried them.
Come to me, Tyrrell, soon. And after supper, tell me of the process of their death. Farewell till then.
I humbly take my leave.
The sons of Edward sleep in Abraham's bosom. And Anne, my queen, has bid this world good night. For now I know that Richmond aims at young Elizabeth. And by that knot follows the kingdom. To her I go, a jolly, thriving wooer.
My lord!
Good news or bad that does come in so bluntly?
Bad news, my lord. Ely is fled to Richmond, and Buckingham, back with the hardy Welshman, is in the field, and still his power increaseth.
Go, muster men. My counsel is my shield. We must be brief for traitors brave field.
So now prosperity begins to mellow and drop into the rotten mouth of death. Here in these confines, slyly have I lurked to watch the waning of mine enemies. A dire induction am I witness to, and will to France, hoping the consequences will prove as bitter, black, and tragical. Withdraw thee, wretched Margaret. Who comes here?
Oh, my poor princess. Oh, my tender babe. If yet your gentle souls fly in the air, hover about me with your airy wings.
So many miseries have raised my voice that my woe-weary tongue lies still in you. Edward Plantagenet, why art thou dead? Plantagenet doth quit Plantagenet. Edward for Edward pays a dying debt.
Wilt thou, O God, fly from such gentle lambs and throw them in the entrails of the wolf?
If ancient sorrows be most reverent, give mine the benefit of seigneury. I had an Edward, till a Richard killed him. I had a husband, till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward, till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Richard, till a Richard killed him. Oh, Harry's wife, triumph not in my woe. Oh, bear with me. I hunger for revenge. Cancel his bond of life. Dear God, I pray, that I may live and say the dog is dead.
Oh, thou didst prophesy the time would come that I would wish for thee to help me curse that bottle spider, that foul bunchback toad.
I called thee then, vain flourish of my fortune. I called thee then, poor shadow, painted queen. The presentation of but what I was, a queen in jest, only to fill the scene. Where is thy husband now? Where be thy brothers? Where be thy two sons? Wherein dost thou joy? Who sues and kneels and says, God save the queen? Decline all this, and see what now thou art. For happy wife, a most distressed widow. For joyful mother, one who wails to name. For one being sued to, one who humbly sues. For she being feared of all, now fearing one. For she commanding all, obeyed of none. Thus hath the course of justice whirled about, and left thee but a very prey to time, having no more but thought of what thou wast. And to torture thee the more, being what thou art, thou didst usurp my place. And dost thou not usurp the just proportion of my sorrow? Now thy proud neck bears half my burden yoke, from which even now I slip my wearied head and leave the burden of it all on thee. Farewell, York's wife, the queen of sad mischance. These English woes shall make me smile in France.
Oh, thou well skilled in curses, stay a while, and teach me how to curse mine enemies.
Forbear to sleep the night and fast the day. Compare dead happiness with living woe. Think that thy babes were sweeter than they were, and he that slew them is fouler than he is. Bettering thy loss makes the bad causer worse. Revolving this will teach thee how to curse.
My words are dull, quicken them with thine.
Thy woes will make them sharp and pierce like mine.
Why should calamity be full of words?
For breathing orators of miseries, let them have scope. Though what they will impart help nothing else, yet do they ease the heart.
If it be so, then be not tongue-tied. Go with me, and with the breath of bitter word, let's smother my damned son that thy two sweet sons smothered. The trumpet sounds, be copious with explain.
Who intercepts my expedition?
Oh, let me.
Do so, but I will not hear.
Hast thou so patient I have stayed for thee?
Came I not at last to comfort thee?
Oh, thou camest upon this earth to make the earth my hell.
You speak too bitterly.
Hear me a word, or I shall never speak to thee again.
So,
Either thou wilt die by God's just ordinance, or I, with grief and extreme age, shall perish, never more behold thy face again. Therefore, take with thee my most grievous curse, my prayers on the adverse party fight. Bloody thou art. Bloody will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, and doth thy death attend.
stay, madam. I must talk a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to slaughter. For my daughters, Richard, they shall be prayed nuns, not weeping queens. Therefore level not to hit their lives.
You have a daughter, Elizabeth, virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
And must she die for this? Oh, let her live, and I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty. Slander myself this false to Edward's bed. She may live unscarred of bleeding slaughter. I will confess she was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong in her birth. She is a royal princess.
Save her life, I'll say she is not so.
Her life is only safest in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
Lo, at their birth, good stars were opposite.
No, to their lives, ill friends were contrary.
All unavoidable is human death.
True, when avoided grace makes destiny.
Madam, so thrive I in my enterprise, that I intend more good to you and yours than ever you and yours by me were harmed.
Be brief, lest the process of thy kindness last longer telling than thy kindness date.
Then know that from my soul I love thy daughter. What do you think?
That from thy soul's love thou dost love my daughter, but from thy soul's love thou didst love her brothers.
Do not be so hasty to confound my meaning. I mean that from my soul I love thy daughter, and do intend to make her Queen of England.
How canst thou woo her?
That I would learn of you.
Send to her by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts. Thereon engrave Edward and York, then haply will she weep. Therefore send to her, as sometimes Margaret did to thy father, steeped in Rutland's blood, a handkerchief, which say to her to drain the purple saps from her sweet brother's body, and bid her wipe her weeping eyes withal. This inducement move her not to love. Send her a letter of thy noble deeds. Tell her thou madest away her uncle Clarence, her uncle Richard. I, and for her sake, made quick conveyance with her good Aunt Anne.
You mock me, madam. This is no way to win your daughter.
There is no other way, unless thou couldst put on some other shape and not be Richard that hath done all this.
All that is done cannot be avoided. Men shall deal inadvisedly sometimes. If I did take the kingdom from your sons, to make amends, I'll give it to your daughter.
What shall I say? Her father's brother would be her lord, or shall I say her uncle?
Say that I will love her everlasting.
But how long shall that title ever last?
As long as heaven and nature need me.
Oh, as long as Hell and Richard likes of it.
I swear.
By nothing! For this is no oath. If something thou wouldst swear to be believed, swear then by something that thou hast not wronged.
By the world.
'Tis full of thy foul wrongs.
By my father's death.
Thy life hath it dishonored.
Then by the heavens.
The heaven's wrong is most of all. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
That thou hast wronged in the time or past. The children live, fathers thou hast slaughtered. The parents live, children thou hast butchered.
Be opposite all planets and good luck to my proceedings. If with true, dear heart's love, I tender not your beauty and princely daughter. In her consist my happiness and thine. Without her follows to myself and thee. For self, for land, any Christian soul, death, decay, desolation, ruin, cannot be avoided but by this, and will not be avoided but by this. Therefore, dear mother, if I must call you so, be the attorney of her love to me. Please what I will be, not what I have been.
Yet thou didst kill my children.
And in your daughter's womb, I will bury them. And the nest of spicy they will be. Them of themselves to your reaping.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Bear her my true love's kiss. And so farewell. What news?
Most mighty sovereign, on the western coast might it please not name me to our shores. 'Tis not that Richmond is their admiral.
What news of you?
Richmond is on the sea. He makes for England here to claim the crown.
Is the chair empty? Is the sword unswayed? Is the king dead? is the empire unprotested. Thou wilt revolt to him and flee, I fear.
No, my good lord. Therefore mistrust me not.
Then tell me what power thou hast to beat him back.
You have no cause to hold my friendship doubtful. I never was, nor never will be false.
Go, muster men, to leave behind your son George Stanley. Let your heart be firm, or else his head's alliances is but frail.
My liege! The Duke of Buckingham is taken. That is the best news. That the Earl of Richmond is with a mighty power landed at Milford.
Someone take Lord of Buckingham's house. The rest, march on with me.
Sacristan, tell Richmond this from me. My son George Stanley is franked up in hold. Fear that holds off my pleasant day. So get thee gone, and me to thy lord. My letter will resolve him of my mind. Farewell.
Will not King Richard let me speak with him?
No, my good lord. Therefore be patient.
Thus Margaret's curse falls heavy on my neck. When he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow. Come, officer, lead me to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong, and death the dew of flame.
Fellows in arms, and my most loving friends, bruised underneath the yoke of tyranny, the wretched, bloody, and usurping boar spills your warm blood like wash, and makes us drop in your emboweled bosom. This swine is now even in the century of this isle. In God's name, cheerly on, courageous friends, to reap the harvest of perpetual peace. True hope is swift and flies with swallows' wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings.
Here, pitch the tent. Here, even in Bosworth Field. Who has described the number of the traitors?
Oh, 6,000 or 7,000 is their utmost number.
That number troubles our count. Let's lack no discipline, make no delay. The Lord's tomorrow is a busy day.
The weary sun hath made a golden set. Where's young Lord Stanley quartered, do you know?
His regiment lies half a mile south, at least, from the mighty tower.
Without peril, if be possible, to be blunt, make some good means to speak with him, and give him from me a most needful note.
Upon my life, my honor, I'll undertake it.
Good night, good Captain Blunt. Let us consult upon tomorrow's business.
What is the clock?
It's supper time, my lord. It's 9 o'clock.
I will not sup tonight, Redcliffe.
My lord?
Send out a paramount of arms to Stanley Redmond. Bid him bring his power before sunrise, lest his son, George, be blinded by a gate of eternal night. Guards, bid me leave.
O thou, whose captain I account myself, look on my forces with a gracious eye, and make us thy ministers of chastisement, that we may praise thee in thy glory. To thee I do commend my watchful soul.
Let me sit heavy in thy soul tomorrow. Poor Clarence, by thy guile betrayed to death. Tomorrow in the battle think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword. Despair, and die. Thou offspring of the house of Lancaster, the wronged heirs of York do pray for thee. Good angels guard thy battle tomorrow. Live and flourish.
Let me sit heavy in thy soul tomorrow. Rivers that die despair and die. Think upon prey, and let thy soul despair. Let fall thy land, despair and die. Awake, and let our wrongs in Richard's bosom conquer him. Awake, and win the day.
Bloody and guilty, guiltily awake, and in a bloody battle end thy days. Think on Lord Hastings, despair and die. Quiet and troubled soul, awake, awake, arm, fight, and conquer for fair England's sake.
Dream on thy cousin smothered in the tower. Thy nephew's soul bid thee despair and die. Sleep, Richmond, sleep in peace and wake in joy. And angels guard thee from the Lord's noise. Live, and beget a happy race of kings. Edward's unhappy sons do bid thee flourish.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched Anne, thy wife, that never spent a quiet hour with thee, tomorrow in the battle think on me, that fall thy endless sword, despair and die. Quiet soul, sleep thou a quiet sleep. Dream of success and victory. Thy adversary's wife doth pray for thee.
First was I that helped thee to the crown. That last was I that felt thy tyranny. Oh, in the battle think on Buckingham. Dream on of bloody deeds and death. I died for hope ere I could lend thee aid. But cheer thy heart and be thou not dismayed. God and good angels fight on Richmond's side, and Richard fall in height of all his pride.
Give me into the horse, bind up my wounds. Have mercy, yea, so soft, but I did but dream. What? That I should fear myself? There's none else by. Richard loves Richard. That is, I am I. Is there a murderer here? No. Yes, I am. Then fly. What, from myself? Great reason why. Least I revenge myself upon myself. Alack, I love myself. Wherefore? For any good that I myself have done unto myself? No. Alas, I rather hate myself. My conscience have 1,000 several tongues, and every tongue brings in a several tell, and every tell condemns me for the villain. All several sins, used to all to each degree, throngs all to the bar, crying all guilty. Guilty. I shall despair. No creature loves me. And if I died, no fool pity me. Wherefore should they? That I myself find in myself no pity to myself.
Why then, 'tis time to arm and give direction. More than I have said, loving countrymen, the leisure and enforcement of the time forbids to dwell upon. Yet remember this, God and our good cause fight upon our side. Richard except, those whom we fight against had rather have us win than him they follow. If that's your standards, draw your willing swords, sound drums and trumpets boldly and cheerfully. God and St. George, Richmond, and victory!
Ah!
sun not shine. What's that to me?
Lord, the foe, it fawns in the field.
Go! Call Lord Stanley, bid him bring his power. Go, gentlemen, every man to his charge. Let not our babbling dreams affright our souls. For courage is the word that cowards use. Devised at first to keep the strong in awe. Our strong arms, our courage, our swords, our law. March on! Join in! Let it to a pell-mell! If not to heaven, then hand in hand to hell! I hear the drums. Go, gentlemen of England, fight! Fight, bold yeomen! Draw archers, draw your arrows to the heads! Spur your proud horses hard, and ride in blood!
Rescue! My lord of Norfolk! Rescue! Rescue! The king enacts more wonders than a man. His horse is slain and all on foot he fights. Rescue, my fair lord, or else the day is lost!
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Withdraw, my lord, I'll help you to a horse.
Slave! I will not live my life upon a cast, except the hazard of dying! Horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
God and your arms be praised, victorious friends. The day is ours, the bloody dog is dead.
Courageous Richmond, well hast thou quit thee. Oh, hear these long usurped royalties from the Dutch temples of this bloody wretch. And thy blood my proud Baron and Ned Mutton.
Oh, great God in heaven, say amen to all. Oh, but tell me, is young George Stanley living?
He is, my lord, and safe in Gloucester town, where, if you please, we may withdraw.
Proclaim a pardon to the soldiers fled, that in submission shall return to us. And then as we have tamed the sacrament, we will unite the white rose and the red. England has long been mad, scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly slaughtered his own son. The son compelled, been butchered to the sire. All this divided York and Lancaster, divided in their dire division. Oh, now, let Richmond and Elizabeth, the true succeeders of each royal house, in God's fair ordinance conjoin together, and let thy heirs, God, if thy will be so, enrich the time to come with smooth-faced peace, with smiling plenty and fair prosperous days. Now civil wounds have stopped. Peace lives again. That she may long live here, God say amen. Woo!